We're back out here once again. And if you like fishing a drop shot but don't like the hassles that go with it, boy, have I got a video for you. Stick around. You don't want to miss this one. Got him. First cast. Ooh, that's a nice one. Ooh, that's a good one too, kids. Look at that. And here is this video's featured comment. Congratulations! If you would like to have a chance to have your comment featured in an upcoming video, all you've got to do is leave a comment. And now, on with the video. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And as the water cools down and those temperatures start to get a bit icy, a lot of anglers turn to finesse fishing. We turn to things like a NACO rig, a Ned rig, or especially a wacky rig. But for a lot of anglers, finesse fishing means a drop shot. Whether you're fishing from the bank or you're fishing from the boat in some deeper water, or if you've got a steeper bank, a drop shot is a proven fish catching technique that just works so well. And it's a really simple setup, isn't it? It's just this little finesse hook right there that goes to a little drop shot weight. Couldn't be more simple. And it works great. It catches smallmouth, it catches spots, and it catches largemouth bass, plus crappie or whatever else you might be fishing. But the thing about fishing this is, even though it's so effective, there's a lot of headaches that go along with working one of these. Number one is line twist. This hook being attached to the line right there, especially with a bait connected to it, will spin in the water, which promotes line twist. And if you're fishing a drop shot on a spinning combo, which everybody does, that line twist can be a real headache, especially as your line gets more and more wound up. And before you know it, it's just spooling off of your reel, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So that's something that we need to address. Another thing about a drop shot is that leader length. Once you get it tied on, it's a lot like a Carolina rig. If you want to change the length, you've got to cut and retie, which sometimes can be a real pain, especially if you're an old guy like me and you've got old man hands that just don't work the same way that they're used to work. Working with all these little hooks and these little weights can be frustrating, especially if it's a windy day. And one of the last things is you have to tie that hook just so. You want that hook point facing up. And it can even droop down whenever you put the bait on there if you have a heavy enough bait. If you have a bait that doesn't float, a heavier plastic bait, it's going to hang that hook down. Now, all of those usually don't prevent people from fishing a drop shot because they work so well. But I thought, I could fiddle with this. I can come up with something. Just like when I thought about fishing the wacky rig weedless, and that's what gave way to the Waco rig. I thought, how can we fix those things? How can we fix the line twist? How can we fix adjusting the leader? And how can we fix making that hook point up all the time? And the solution I came up with was so ridiculously simple. I can't believe that I've never seen this before. It's just a ridiculously simple solution. I'm going to show it to you. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect drop shot. It looks pretty much the same, right? You've got your hook, you've got your weight, and you've got your leader. But look at that right there. All I did was put a bobber stop, a weight stop on the bottom. That's all I did. So I can move this hook up and down if I want to, and that hook stays in place. And that hook spins freely, right? That hook spins freely. There's going to be absolutely zero line twist. And you notice the hook point is up. That hook point is facing up because that bobber stop, that weight stop, props that hook into place and does not let it move. It's such a simple technique. It's so easy to do. But I said, you know what? It can't be that simple. Let's take it out on the water. Let's try it out and let's see what catches fish. Well, this is exactly what happened almost immediately. Let it take all the line it wants to. Got him. That's not a bad one, kids. On the drop shot. Stay down. What have I got? Oh, he's good. Oh, and I lost my worm. I have to go there and get it. Oh, there it was. Quick release. So, first couple casts in, I'm already catching fish. And all I was using was a trick worm. I love a trick worm on a drop shot because I love the wiggle of that tail. You can use something like a robo worm, or you can use a specific type of drop shot bait. But I like something a little bit longer. These float, so that tail's going to stick out. And all I have to do is tap it and wiggle it just a little bit to get that tail shimmy and shake. So I played with the setup a little bit during the day. I made a few tweaks here and there, but I found out for the most part, what I had was working like solid gold. All day long, I kept catching really nice fish, including this nice guy. Still working the old drop shot. Made an improvement. I went to a heavier size leader. Line because my bobber stops kept moving, and I had to put my bobber stops on a heavier line. So, and I went to fluorocarbon. I was using ooh, got him. First cast. Ooh, that's a nice one. Ooh, that's a good one too, kids. Look at that. Look at that. Oops. Keep trying to warm up, but I got him. Look at that. The perfect drop shot doing work. These are good fish. That's a nice fish. First cast. Beautiful. Alright, that's another one. Oops, let me get my hook out of his mouth. He had that good. Alright, that's awesome. Alright, let's go get another one. Alright, so that setup is working well. This improved, perfect drop shot is working so well. The bass love it. They don't see any difference between that and a regular drop shot. In fact, I was getting more bites with this than I ordinarily would with the regular drop shot, simply because that hook had more freedom to move. That worm had more freedom to wiggle. And how am I fishing it? Well, I have a way of fishing a drop shot that I really like to use that works so well for me. So let's head out on the water, and I'm going to show you my favorite way to work a drop shot. All right, we've got some wind, but when it comes to working this perfect drop shot, I just fish it like a drop shot. I'm casting it out. A lot of guys will just drop it over to the side of the boat. That's fine. I'm casting into the wind because I want that line to stay taut. So I want the boat to kind of go this way and the bait stays there. It keeps that bait taut. So I'm not worried about slack. And I can kind of tap the line just like that, which is what I like to do. It's almost like stitching it. It just gives it a real subtle movement. But it only works if you've got your line with no slack in it. Now, it doesn't have to be razor, taut. It doesn't have to be super taut, but just where you've got the slack taken out of it pretty good. And I can just do like that and just tap it. And that's what I like to do. That's basically one of the main things that I'm doing as far as the retrieve. Just a little bit of a slap, as long as that line is staying tight. And that wiggles the worm, or you can just kind of shake it just a little bit. Kind of like you're going to work a shaky head, a lot of the same principles. Keeping that line pretty tight and just shaking that rod, shaking it, and letting that line stay as tight as you can get it, without being super tight. Adjust it every once in a while. And that's how I've been getting bites, doing that all day. That's how I fish a drop shot, and that's how I've been getting all these bites today. It's a real effective way to work a drop shot, and to generate those strikes. So as you can see, it could not be more simple. Just putting that bobber stop there and letting that hook just free float through there, that changed everything. It still works just like a drop shot. Now, the only thing that I made sure that I did is I've got a knot here. And all that is to keep that bobber stop from sliding down beyond that point. Because if you hook set on a big enough fish, it will cause that bobber stop to move and it'll slide down. So I don't want that. I still want that hook to bite in. So I tied a good knot right here, or you can put it even lower. You can put it down here if you want to, or even down here, and tie a good knot to keep that bobber stop from going any further down. But I didn't have any problem with hook sets. I kept putting fish in the boat after fish in the boat. It was a great day, all just working this. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but once I had this in my hand, once I had this set up in my hand, I did not take it out of my hand at all. It worked that well. So give that a try. Like I said, you can adjust the leader length. It keeps that hook facing up, and it does not have any line twist. The fish are absolutely going to go crazy for it because it's a different type of presentation. It gives that worm just a little bit more action, gives that drop shot bait just a little bit more action. And I'm telling you what, those fish are going to go crazy for it. So there you have it. My fix for the good old drop shot. I don't know if I'll ever fish a drop shot the same way ever again. This is so much easier to put together and it's so much easier to work with. It's a great setup. Give it a try and tell me what you think. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.